In that fleeting moment of complete weakness, Zira looked directly into my eyes, or at least what would have been my eyes if my opaque helmet hadn't protected my face. She asked me one simple question, a query that rung throughout my mind. How could I help? I was a recently returned from exile warlock, skating closely between the suspicion of new allies and the ire of the Vanguard. A precarious position for any guardian. I scrambled for a sharp reply, something witty and clandestine. Don't reveal the truth, my mind whispered. I spoke slowly, stating that I had information on the weapon that killed her lover and was tasked to form a fire team to investigate the recent occurrences in the Crucible and in the field. My response seemed to offer her enough. She ended her line of questioning to my relief and began to motion towards the space dock. It was going to be some time before my ship is retrofitted and rearmed. A week or so, maybe less, she said. My letter from Ikora did allow me to expedite the commonly slow process of Holiday's frames, but I decided the timing worked in my favor. In that week, I could gather information on my own, or continue to bury myself in the bottom of a hard, tasteless drink. Self-pity was, after all, my specialty. Self-sabotage aside, I told Zira to take her time, brief her colleagues on her new position, and set aside any other business matters for the foreseeable future, as I had no idea how long this sortie could last. In the downtime, I would visit my stash in exile just inside the Cosmodrome. There was some foreseeable threat in this course of action, but there was risk in waking to the sun or squeezing the trigger of my weapon and citing a misfire. A few devils and thralls wasn't something to balk over. The real purpose of my return to Earth's frontier so soon was what I left behind. It was a piece of me, an integral part to this tale, and the instrument to the deaths of guardians I was to call brother or sister. A prototype guardian killer, one of the few still produced not to be confiscated by the Vanguard. The guardians in the tower came to call it a specter, the first glimpse of a true death, and I possessed one. Not as some vanity piece for my hermit's hovel, but a weapon I had used against my own to satiate my pride. Procure the weapon, I thought. It could have its uses in my investigation ahead, but if I was to be found in possession of this guardian killer, my new allies and limited tenure in the tower would undoubtedly shift out of my favor. Walk carefully. The Vanguard use you as an asset because your death wouldn't affect some grand campaign or reclamation. And my new ally, Zira, well, suffice to say, would find my new equipment to be highly interesting, questioning me with the release of a few rounds to my chest or a swift slam of her furious fists. But I still had my life and my wit, and now a goal, an obligation to set things right, or at least try to find peace within myself. Whatever the course of action, it certainly beat wallowing in self-pity in the frontier.